Alright, in this video we're going to talk about the Rookery and the routing for it. Probably week 1, routes may change. Now, similar to a lot of dungeons in this season, this is a very hold W route. There isn't much opportunity to kind of fluctuate what you pull. There are some things you can do in like the first boss area, as well as some skips you can do kind of later on towards the third boss, but for the most part it's fairly hold W. Now the first pull, the idea is that you definitely want to kill Quartermaster Koratite. He is going to allow you to actually fly to the Storm's Roost. Now there are some groups who like to pull in all of these guards to the right and do one large pull with Lust right off the rip. This is definitely doable. Doing this pull means you can skip some trash later. It's also going to give you 10% count, and it's going to give you a good funnel target. So this pull is very, I would say, doable. It's just you do need to be careful of these Cursed Thunderers. They do some casts, and the Quartermaster does a frontal called Bounding Void. This is a little annoying to look out for, especially in melee. Just make sure you're focusing this guy and setting focus to get your kicks. Again, you don't have to do the right hand pull, but if you want to get a little bit extra count to skip a pack later, I recommend doing this with cooldowns. Your DPS will thank you. Moving into the Roost. Now this is weird because it's going to show you coming in from the right hand side, but you will be coming in here just because the layout of Keystone Guru is currently not working properly. So you're going to be coming in here. So the orientation of these packs are like this. So you got these are the right hand side, these are to the left. So what I personally recommend doing is going to the right first. So it's going to be the patrol plus this pack here. Now again, ignore this line. When you're coming in, you're going to be coming from the south end of the map here, and you're going to be facing this. So you're going to see the patrol. You're going to want to kick this one Cursed Thunderer, but the rest of the packs in this pull aren't too deadly. Now, healers need to pay attention to the Void Rider. These do some like this plus, or the Stormrook. Basically, they do big group damage that's fairly unavoidable, so make sure you're focusing them down, and healers be ready for it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to clean up one pack at a time, going around the room. Eventually, you will get stuck with this patrol. It's probably going to come into this pull here. You can also pull it into pull 5, but however you need to clear this patrol, I recommend doing it. And then you can skip this pull here. It's very lethal. There's 3 casters. They spam cast. They have an aura that you should purge, but if you don't have any purge in your group, it just makes them basically have lust permanently. I recommend trying to ignore this pack if possible. If you are going to delete it or try to remove it from the playing field, make sure you're focusing one down and getting as many kicks and stuns as you possibly can, and use defenses aggressively. You probably won't need it on Kyrios, however you say the first boss. I've already done boss guides. If you haven't seen the videos, I will have it linked on screen now, and I'll have it linked down below, so feel free to check it out if you are looking for boss explanations. This video, though, we're focused on just routing. Once you kill the first boss, you are going to unlock a graveyard at the bottom of the nesting area. If you do happen to release for some reason and you're at the beginning of the dungeon, it's going to fly you downstairs and you'll be outside. So all you have to do is run in, come to the left, and you'll be able to clear this pack, or get back to the trash. The next pull I recommend doing is you're going to double up this pack with this patrol. Ignore this corner pack. You will not need it for count. The rest of this area, you're going to pull one pack at a time. This area has this Void Diffuser. This is very scary damage during attracting shadows. It is when you're getting sucked in. It's also doing just periodic group damage, so healers be ready for this. You're going to see a couple of them in here. There's obviously oracles as well. Just make sure you're getting kicks where you can, but for the most part these pulls are pretty tame. These void crushers leap at random people in your group and also apply a debuff, so this pull can get pretty hectic. That's why you're just pulling one at a time. Now this area is interesting because all of these void crushers on the side, they're all asleep, so you can walk past them. They have a very low radius of detection, so you can just walk by. You want to try to avoid pulling these guys if you can. You should be able to. It's pretty easy. There are probably going to be routes in the future that might take advantage of actually some of these mobs to skip stuff later on, but for now all we are doing is trying to get to this pack here, and so we can do this pack. Now MDT is incorrect, or Keystone Guru. This oracle no longer exists in this pull, so this count is going to be off just by a little bit. It's only 2 diffusers. 2 diffusers is very scary, like I've already talked about. It does heavy group damage. They tend to sync up their spells. I hope Blizzard maybe fixes this where they won't cast them at the same time, because it's a ton of group damage. But basically try to focus one down as quickly as possible, and then you'll be heading into the next boss's area. So what a lot of groups will do is they'll pull all of this trash onto boss. You don't have to, they're not elites. The only thing they do is when they die, they leave a pool on the ground. Be careful of that if you do this. If not, just kill the 8 of them before pulling Goran. Goran has a little bit of spawning RP before you can actually pull him, but this is efficient for if like Lust it comes up here, that's really good to burn these guys down. But basically you can pull them in the boss if you'd like. If not, just nuke them really quick. Next, we have this Ascendant here. Now what they've done is they've added 2 Crushers. So the Crushers we've already dealt with. They're these guys up here. They leap onto random party members. So this is now a 3 target pull. So you'll see 3 guys here. Don't be surprised. The Void Ascendant, the only really scary thing I would look out for are the orbs she spawns. I forgot what the ability, I don't think it's called Void Volley, but basically it shoots out 2 sets of orbs in either direction. Range, should have an easy time avoiding this. Melee, you can position yourself in between them so you don't get hit. Next, we're going to find ourselves going downstairs. Now downstairs, you're going to get a lot of trash here. What I recommend doing is pulling all of these afflicted civilians together. You can then walk around these Crushers. These Crushers are just not worth pulling. You can obviously pull like a lot of afflicted civilians on them, but we shouldn't need the percent. So we're going Radiating, Voidstone, and you can pull all these afflicted civilians in just for, pad. Again, when they die, they spawn swirls, so just make sure you're avoiding them. Now the Radiating Voidstone I like to pull by itself, because what it tends to do is it makes your group do less damage by 5% per stack of the like Engorge cast or whatever it does. So basically, don't pull these with any other mobs because it can be pretty lethal. Just handle the Radiating Voidstone by itself. Now to spawn the boss, you do need to clear all 3 of these Void Ascendants. You don't technically need to pull this corner pack, but I recommend doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go this pack first. Again, we have 2 Crushers and an Ascendant plus some little guys. Then we're going to have 1 Void Ascendant by itself. Then you're going to have this super scary pull with Radiating Voidstone. And then last but not least, you're going to have this final pull here, which will spawn the boss. And then you are ready to finish up the dungeon. So this is a pretty whole W route. Some notable things, like I talked about the very, very beginning of the dungeon, is that if you happen to not pull this pack here, you'll be short count. So you can make up that count at the end of the dungeon. So if we come to the very last, area. So for example, like pull 16, you can pull all of these afflicted civilians in if you want to get more funnel, or you can just pull these Crushers. So these also give you 100% count. So it really depends on your efficiency in here. Again, this route will be linked in the description below. I've already done boss videos, but I hope this helps, and I wish you the best of luck in this next season. Peace.